Welcome, everyone, to Detroit, Michigan, in the Palace of Auburn Hill for this late 80s grudge match between the top two teams in the East. The bad boy Detroit Pistons, led by the scintillating Isaiah Thomas. He'll look to assert his dominance over the arch-rival Chicago Bulls and their heir apparent, Michael Jordan.
And Kevin, there's no doubt about it. These two teams hated each other with a passion. The Pistons had taken the mantle from the Celtics as the beast of the East. And now another upstart team from the Midwest, the Chicago Bulls, looking to knock them off their perch.
The Pistons not going away quietly.
No, they used just about every trick in the book to win. Detroit felt they were the tougher team mentally and physically, and they looked to exploit that advantage at every turn.
And Jordan said it best. Each and every game that we played against the Pistons, we considered it to be a war. Guys, that gives you some idea of what kind of a game we're looking for.
Let's take a look at the lineups first for the home Pistons. Bill Laimbeer will man the middle. Mahorn in at the 4. Mark Aguirre rounding out the front court at small forward. And, of course, the elite backcourt of Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas. And at the other end for the Bulls, Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant are the forwards. Big Bill Cartwright manning the middle. John Paxson at the 1. And the shooting guard, Michael Jordan. Here's Thomas.
You know, with Isaiah Thomas, looks could be deceiving. 6 feet tall, 180 pounds, if that. Choir boy smile, but I'll tell you what, between the lines, few players have had his killer instinct.
Three-pointer. Offensive rebound. Second shot opportunity. And that one goes in as he is fouled. It'll be 3 points if he converts at the line. Yeah, Isaiah, Steve, was an assassin. We mentioned such a competitor. Clark, what did you love most about his game, his total game?
Well, I liked his tenacity. I mean, I first saw Isaiah in a high school all-star game when we were seniors back in 1979, but his quickness, his acceleration, and probably his ball skills. He was phenomenal with the ball. He was terrific. Go anywhere with it, through any kind of traffic. He had the ultimate in rush hour handle.
Funny shot, and the shot is good. Thomas got 5 points so far.
He's a pleasure to watch on the offensive end. I know I wouldn't want to guard him.
Pass to Paxson. Working it around now. Aguirre against Pippen. 5 to shoot. Steps back and shoots. Bill Laimbeer with the rebound.
Laimbeer always seemed to be in the right place at the right time for those defensive rebounds. In fact, between 1982 and 1990, no player totaled more boards in the NBA.
You know, the Paxson name is synonymous with the game of basketball. John's dad and brother, Jim Sr. and Jim Jr. both played in the NBA as well.
And again, no good by Chicago.
3 misses to start the game, still trying to break the seal on that hoop.
Dumars misses. Bulls still looking like they're getting going. Looking for the first basket of the game. Pippen misses. The Pistons with a quick start to this game. There's Thomas with the 3. Jordan with the rebound.
Somewhat surprisingly, Isaiah Thomas did not show great touch from three-point range over the course of his career. He was really more of a 20 to 22-foot range guy.
John Paxson spent his college days at Notre Dame, but he had a very storied high school career in my home state. He grew up in Kettering, Ohio.
Well, he was drafted 19th by the Spurs in 1983 and signed with the Bulls a couple of seasons later, providing them with some clutch shooting over the years.
The Pistons making a switch here. Rodman's check.
Oh! Now that's just rubbing it in, fella.
Throwing it down with style.
These folks are not going to forget that one anytime soon.
You know, guys, Michael Jordan grew up in Wilmington, North Carolina, and played baseball, football, and basketball in high school. There's the famous story of Jordan, still only 5'11" as a sophomore, somehow getting cut from the varsity basketball team.
But, you know, I think that story's been maybe a little bit overblown over the years, Clark, because he was actually a star on that JV team, and then he grew, and, of course, became a superstar on his varsity squad by his senior year. He averaged a triple-double. So everybody wanted him after his senior year. He goes on to North Carolina, and the rest is history.
Here's Paxson. He's guarded by Thomas. Paxson against Thomas. Fires it up. No good from Paxson. And the Pistons with possession. Big stretch here going 10-2. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. It's going to be on Michael Jordan.
Well, Isaiah Thomas, really a rags to riches story. He grew up in a rough neighborhood in West Chicago, the youngest of 9 children. Some days, no food or heat.
And I'm sure he'd say that played a large part in shaping the player he became, Clark. Tough, fearless, determined to win by any means necessary.
Outside Pippen. And there's the pass to Paxson. Just 4 to shoot. 13 feet out. The shot will not go. Pistons go the other way with the ball.
Boy, Rodman was such an incredible rebounder. I mean, I think in his prime, he was the best rebounding forward in NBA history.
Paxson against Dumars. Over Paxson. Detroit, no good that time either. And Steve, if anyone knows Rodman, you do. He's listed at 6'7". He's about 230 pounds. Not the biggest guy by NBA standards. And Clark, you played against him. You know his game. How was he able to be so dominant on the board?
Well, Kevin, I've talked about it before. Rebounding is more about tenacity, timing, and positioning than it is jumping ability or strength. Now, he was athletic, clearly. He had a tremendous motor. He had a hunger and desire to get after the orange. He didn't mind contact. And as a result, he was able to get rebounds that most people couldn't come up with. And he averaged 13 rebounds a game for his career because he was gifted in those areas that I just talked about.
Outside Thomas. This one for 3. And again, it's the Pistons missing. They can go 2 for 1.
Yeah, they need to play it smart. Make sure you get a good shot first, and then maybe a second possession.
Here's Pippen.
Yeah, his teammates, guys, I used to watch it every day. Jordan and Pippen would push each other so hard. They loved to compete in every single drill, and it really elevated the play of the entire team.
Playing alongside Jordan, probably the greatest player ever, Scottie Pippen might not have gotten all the credit he deserved. I mean, he was the perfect number 2 guy on those Bull teams. Someone who turned a great team into an absolute dynasty.
Well, they were perfect complements to each other, Clark. Pippen was the distributor on offense, the rebounder, the defender. Jordan, obviously, the scorer and the finisher. But their styles really complemented each other. And together, they formed one of the great defensive tandems on the perimeter in NBA history.
Johnson kicks to Thomas. Fires for 3, and the shot is good. Thomas got 13. Jordan with it. Pippen. And you can count it. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it 3.
He's so graceful around the rim. Sometimes you forget how strong he is.
That free throw good from Pippen. Here is Mahorn. It's Thomas outside. Can't get it to go. Gets it off. A free-flowing first quarter. Great scoring through 1. Pistons lead by 6.
And I thought the defense was key here for this club. They really tightened up and made it difficult on their opponent.
How about the help on the drives and rotations? I mean, they've really been in sync as a unit.
Don't go away. Back in just a moment. Now the second quarter getting ready to start up.
And we talked about this game being a grudge match. One thing I can tell you is Isaiah Thomas, well, he's held a grudge in essence against Michael Jordan because Jordan kind of took Chicago from him. And that's Isaiah's town, having grown up there. So once Jordan arrived, he became the man. I think that bothered Isaiah a little bit.
On the court right now, second quarter for the Bulls. Sellers is out there with Cartwright. Then there's Grant. Then there's Hodges. And it's Vincent in at the 1. Mahorn against Grant. Mahorn against Grant. And the 7'1" Bill Cartwright extends for the rebound. And Hodges kicks to Grant. Detroit with the rebound.
And, you know, Isaiah, because of the rivalry, kind of became hated in Chicago, Steve. I mean, asked if it bothered him. Isaiah said this: it affected me because as a kid, I always wanted to play for the Chicago Bulls. You know, but I loved it because we were always beating up on those guys. And leave it to Isaiah. If it's competition and he's winning, he's happy. So beating the Bulls was Isaiah's way of saying to Chicago, you know, hate me if you want to. Even though I grew up here, I don't play for you. I'm still the man.
From 11 feet away, and that is good. The Pistons leading. Johnson outside. From down in the low post, it goes. Here's Vincent. Still anybody's game at this point.
No question, and this becomes a very big possession here.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over.
He wants to make a few adjustments out there, and he's running through those with his team right now.
So for the Pistons, Bill Lambier's checked in for Sally, and it's Dumars in for Johnson. Then for the Bulls, Davis is checked in for Sellers. Scottie Pippen is subbed in for Horace Grant. Here is Hodges. Here's Vincent. It's Pippen on the wing, covered by Mahorn. Outside Pippen, shot clock at 5. Shoots from 12, gets it to go. Pippen's got 5 now.
Scottie Pippen had a career most guys can only dream about, guys. In his 17 years in the league, he made it to the postseason 16 times. He's just a winner.
Outside Dumars. Fades away. That's good. Dumars got his second basket of the game. Here's Vincent. There's the dish to Davis. Hodges. Rodman covering. All right with a screen on Rodman. Lambier against Davis. Hodges against Rodman. Hodges misses. Pistons leading by 4. Here's Dumars. Count it. The defender is called for the block, and this could turn into a 3-point play.
Now you talk about these bad boy Pistons, as they were called. Joe Dumars, a point of contrast. Quiet, classy competitor, but he fit right in.
Well, it was about competitive spirit, the hunger and drive to win a championship. You need different types of personalities and abilities, and Joe Dumars actually the first recipient of the NBA Sportsmanship Award in '96, and now the trophy bears his name.
Dumars against Paxson. Shoots over Dumars. Edwards grabs the board. Goes up. And Dumars with the basket on the assist from Rodman. Dumars got 7 now in this quarter. Paxson against Dumars. Here's Pippen. And you see a move like that, Scottie Pippen may be the prototypical NBA slasher.
That's a smooth, old-school move right there.
Here's Dumars. He gathers. And then Chicago with the rebound.
And, you know, this Pistons organization, guys, they started out in Fort Wayne, Indiana in 1941. They moved to Detroit in 57. Didn't become a winner until the 80s, and that was when they brought in Isaiah Thomas, Lambier, Vinnie Johnson, and Joe Dumars. That was a heck of a club.
An easy 2 points on the layup. Dumars got 11 points.
What a great little run he's on here in this quarter.
A different look for Detroit. Sally, he's checked in for Edwards. McGuire comes in for Mahorn. And Isaiah Thomas is subbed in for Dennis Rodman. And after some early playoff exits, as we're talking about the Detroit Pistons, in 1986, the Pistons decided they needed to toughen up. So they draft John Sally and they draft Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, and those are good moves. I mean, you talk about building a championship caliber team. What is your identity going to be? How are you going to try to make it happen? Well, they focused on physicality and toughness and a defensive-oriented style. And with the bad boys, they made it to the conference finals in '87, the finals in '88, and then 2 straight championships in '89 and '90. So you'd have to say the plan worked.
Michael Jordan impacted the game in so many ways, including in the fashion category. Remember the baggy shorts that eventually became popular? He was really the first guy to wear them.
Yeah, you know what? And he said it wasn't so much about fashion for him, but rather function, because it gave him a chance to hold the hem when he rested. I had not heard that, but I guess it makes sense. It also helped hide the UNC shorts he always wear under his Bulls uniform. So I see where he had a couple of reasons for those long shorts.
That will count. And so we conclude the first half.
Look at what Thomas has done so far. He has 15 points, and he's picked up 4 at the line in this one. Getting it done there as well.
Well, you always want to get to the line as often as you can. Execute the free throws. So important to a team's success, controlling the foul line.
We'll be right back from Detroit. And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now.
Isaiah Thomas, boy, guys, he was so elite. Made the All-Star team 12 times, all but his final season. He was a 3-time NBA first-teamer. And not just individual success, of course, a 2-time NBA champion and Finals MVP in 1990.
We've got Bill Laimbeer. Mahorn is out there with Aguirre. Then there's Thomas, and it's Dumars in at the 2. That's the group for Detroit right now. Inside, here's Paxson. Pistons leading by 6. Ooh, the double clutch. And Dumars gets it to go. Dumars got the first basket of the third quarter for the Pistons.
While talking about Isaiah Thomas, Clark, and there's no question, he's the most important player in Detroit Pistons history. He's the all-time leader for the franchise in points, free throws, steals, and assists. A first ballot Hall of Famer and one of the NBA's 50 greatest players of all time.
Backing him down, Thomas. Over Paxson. That doesn't go either for Thomas. Bulls trail by 8. Outside Jordan. Laimbeer against Cartwright. He goes up. Can't get it to go. So Detroit will take it the other way.
Mark Aguirre, most notably known as a scorer, but he was also a pretty solid rebounder. Averaged 5 a game in his career. Now, Mark Aguirre, acquired by Detroit from the Dallas Mavericks in 1989 in exchange for Adrian Dantley. 2 great scorers swapped in the primes of their careers, and it really paid off for Detroit.
Dennis Rodman, he's checked in for Mahorn. And that trade for Aguirre wasn't without a lot of controversy. I mean, there was a lot going on. A lot of fans didn't like it at first.
Well, a lot of fans had great respect and admiration for Adrian Dantley, who ended up being traded for Mark Aguirre. But this is what Mark Aguirre said about it. He said, Adrian's a great player, but he wasn't an absolute post player. Adrian faced up more than he posted up. But I was a post-up guy, and because I could post up, it created more spacing for the Pistons offensively. And with Aguirre providing that inside threat, they won 2 straight NBA titles, and obviously Aguirre was a pretty big part of that. So from that standpoint, you have to feel like it was the right call.
Thomas's shot is off.
Pippen was always the stopper for the Bulls. I mean, he could guard any position, 1 through 5.
Here's Paxson. That falls. Nice feed that time from Scottie Pippen.
Great feed there from Scottie. You know, he was really the primary ball handler for the Bulls in that triangle offense. You know, it's interesting. The Pistons' reputation was built around being physical, but people underestimate their intelligence for the game. Bill Laimbeer said we were a very cerebral team, and we love to play the mental games.
Chicago calls timeout.
You got to keep everybody on the same page. They need to get their heads together. That's the goal.
And Clark, part of the Pistons being physical with teams, getting in their face, was a lot about getting in their heads, too.
No question. I mean, you can't discount that aspect of it. You're exactly right. I mean, Joe Dumars said they love when the opposing team tried to retaliate, because then they weren't thinking about basketball anymore. That's when the Pistons knew that they had him.
Here's Pippen. 9 points in the game so far. Passes it to Vincent. Outside Jordan. Over Johnson. Sticks it from 17 feet. 8 points for Michael.
You know, he's definitely a catalyst for their offense, guys. I mean, he is so talented. He really causes problems for the other team's defense.
Now, you talk about the impact that Isaiah Thomas had on this Detroit Pistons franchise. Second overall pick in 1981, and he started in the All-Star game in his very first season.
And the Pistons made an 18-game improvement in the win column that season as well, and he really was the transformational piece with that team.
Here's Thomas. Drops in the layup for 2. Thomas got 17.
Yeah, he's only 1 for 5 from the field this quarter. Not in rhythm at all.
Pippen, the pass to Jordan. Fader on the way. Rebound by the Pistons.
A 7-time rebounding champion in the NBA for Dennis Rodman. Only Wilt Chamberlain won more rebounding titles.
And, you know, for a couple of seasons in the early 90s, guys, Rodman had... Oh! There isn't anybody in the building that didn't appreciate that throwdown.
Well, Steve, that's as fancy a finish as you could possibly get.
A serious degree of difficulty on that one.
Here's Jordan. He's got 8.
And for the Bulls, the key to finally beating the Pistons came from the Zen master himself. Pistons' Jordan Rules defense was all about constant pressure and bringing extra defenders. Instead of trying to meet the Pistons face on, they used their pressure against them.
They have a chance to go 2 for 1 here.
Let's see how they play the clock.
Outside Thomas. Layup off the pick. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Well, that should be a rule. No layups. Protect the paint. Make them earn every point.
Yeah, I think that's just tough, hard-nosed, smash-mouth basketball. Make your opponent earn their points from the line. Don't give up any layups.
Mahorn checked in for the Pistons. Dumars comes in for Aguirre. Chicago also making some changes. Sellers comes in for Bill Cartwright. And it's Paxson in for Scottie Pippen. And that one's good. 10 points for Jordan.
Now, the only way to stop him is to keep him from getting the ball in the first place.
Here's Thomas. He cans that one. And the Pistons lead by 9.
Tell you what, to be successful, this team needs his scoring, and they're really counting on him.
Fades and shoots, and that's not going to go. And that does it for the third quarter. Both teams clicking offensively as we approach the fourth quarter. Isaiah Thomas having a dominant impact in this game.
You know, all game long, he's gone right at defenders, creating contact, and he's found a way to get to the free throw line.
You know, it might not be the prettiest way to tally up the points, but they count nonetheless. I mean, the fourth quarter's coming up, and he might get some guys in foul trouble if he keeps dominating the paint like this.
Pistons ahead, up by 9.
Isaiah Thomas, a superstar in the NBA, but he was a star even before he was drafted. Took his high school team to the Illinois State Championship game, and gold medal winner in the Pan American Games in '79, and of course the national title and most outstanding player with Indiana in 1981.
On the court for the Bulls, getting this fourth quarter started. They've got John Paxson. Corzina's out there with Purdue. And there's Sellers, and it's Jordan in at the 2 spot. Thomas, no good with the layup. Bulls trail by 9. Now Paxson. And here's Purdue. Pass to Paxson. Shot clock at 6. That shot wide open.
Paxson, a dangerous long-range shooter, made some big shots for this Bulls team over the years.
Outside Thomas. Over Paxson. And again, Isaiah Thomas. Thomas got 23 points. Chicago with the ball. Trailing here by 8.
Now, John Paxson had an 11-year career as a player, and now he's the vice president of basketball operations for the Bulls, trying to bring this modern Bulls team up to the same level as the team he played on.
From 20 feet out, Detroit with the rebound. Rodman's got 3 rebounds so far in the game.
He may want to start spreading the ball around a little bit. His shot is off right now. And that's Isaiah for you, one of the great passers this league has ever seen. In fact, he's 7th all-time in assists.
For the Pistons, James Edwards checked in for Rodman. Sally comes in for Johnson. And Aguirre subbed in for Isaiah Thomas.
And you talk about Dumars with the Pistons. He's now the president of basketball operations for Detroit, named Executive of the Year in 2003, and built the team that won the NBA championship in 2004.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over.
And you know, Steve, that Pistons team that Dumars assembled had a fantastic run. I mean, they made it to 6 straight Eastern Conference finals between 2003 and 2008. That's a long stretch of dominance. And obviously they won that title in 2004 during that time as well.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pistons. Dennis Rodman, he's checked in for Sally. Isaiah Thomas is subbed in for Aguirre. A baseline J. And it's Pippen missing.
Lambeer doing work on the boards. And another stat about his rebounding, guys. He led the NBA in that category twice, both in 1985 and 86. Great defense there. You did not want Jordan guarding you. I mean, I think he may have been even better at that end of the court than on offense, and that's saying something. Remember, he made 9 All-NBA defensive first team. Now, 3 All-NBA defenders are on the court right now. Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman, and Joe Dumars, all first team all defense in 1988. Man, he continues to rack up the numbers.
Guys, I tell you what, this is as well-rounded a game as you'll see.
Vincent the pass to Jordan. And he converts the layup. Jordan's got 10 points in just the second half.
Now, Michael Jordan may go down as the greatest scorer in NBA history, although Kareem Abdul-Jabbar may have something to say about that. But in the 86-87 season, he scored 3,000 points.
On the top of the key. And Lambeer pulls it down. Lambeer's got rebound number 8 here tonight in the game. Thomas with the ball. He's picked up by Jordan. And stolen by Jordan.
Jordan is such a skilled defender. I mean, how's it?
Oh! Up high! Down hard! A monster throwdown. Wow! Boom! That was a little freaky right there. Tricky as well. Now that's freaky, man. Real freaky.
It's easy to get carried away watching that, isn't it?
I guess that's the effect a dunk like that one has, Kevin.
John Paxson, he's checked in for Chicago. Here's Thomas. Good luck. That's good. Thomas got 8 points in the quarter.
And there goes Isaiah once again. A ton of points tonight for the Pistons' all-time leading scorer.
Paxson kicks to Jordan. Grant outside. Back to Jordan. In for the dunk.
You know, there's another good example, guys, of Michael Jordan's crazy athleticism. Did he ever elevate?
Johnson, he's checked in for James Edwards.
Jordan having a terrific game. 16 points and 1 steal as well. His defense has been equal to his offense today, and both have been great.
Yeah, I agree, Clark. He's been excellent over the entire 94 feet of the court.
They can take their time on this possession.
You know, guys, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, it gives themselves a little break, too.
Catch their breath. You're
Yep.
right. Now here's Pippen. Puts it up. Dunked hard with one hand.
Coaches are always screaming and preaching that. Get to the offensive glass and try to keep the ball alive.
Well, that's just the tenacity you look for, isn't it, Steve?
And no messing around on the putback either, Kevin. Put it down hard.
So now that's twice we've seen the offense collapse. That's back-to-back empty trips because of turnover.
Yeah, and that's going to be a problem because now all of a sudden you start turning the ball over and you lose all offensive rhythm and flow.
They're really getting the work done inside with their rebound.
Yeah, not giving up too many second chance opportunities, which is always important. It's been one of the reasons they have the lead right now.
It's tipped.
He wasn't paying any attention to the defense. Poor pass there.
Here's Paxson. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. Dennis Rodman picks one up. Sinks the first one and then brings them within 5. Both free throws good from Paxson. 36 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And an intentional foul right there. And here are the Pistons now. And so they choose to intentionally foul.
Good foul there defensively. Make him earn 2 points from the line.
I agree with you. I mean, no freebies. Don't give anybody an easy opportunity. Make good use of your foul there.
And he can't convert on the second. That misses. This is a huge possession.
You've got to execute under pressure. We're going to see what they're made of.
He's just so clutch. Here's a guy you want on your side with the game on the line, Kevin.
And now we've got the intentional foul. Gets the first. That gives him a 4-point cushion. 2 for 2, and it's a 5-point ball game.
Well, he handled his business at the line, and now it's a 2-possession lead.
Chicago calls timeout. They're behind by 5. 24 seconds left in the fourth. Here's Pippen. Shoots a fader. And Lambert pulls it down.
Well, he had to fade away there. The defense was all over him, and he got it off, just couldn't get it to go.
Good on the first, and that increases their lead to 6. Perfect from the line, and it's a 7-point ball game.
Nice job to make them all. That's a big play to extend their lead.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. They trail by 7. 15 seconds left to play here in the fourth. What's your take, guys?
Well, they're going to need a miracle because this one looks like it's just about over.
Steve, more than one. They'll need a few of those miracles. I think we're done here.
Here's Pippen. He passes to Carter. Inside Leaner. Jordan with the bucket.
Nice touch near the hoop.
And they go to the intentional foul. Gets the first. That increases their lead to 6. Gets them both, and it's a 7-point ball game. Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. They're losing by 7. 6 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Guys, your thoughts?
Well, they're going to need a miracle because this one looks like it's just about over.
Steve, more than one. They'll need a few of those miracles. I think we're done here.
From 17 feet out. That one a little long. And so the Pistons take the win.
Well, the bad boys still hanging tough. They took care of their home court at the Palace, knocking off the Bulls.
Such a heated rivalry. Even looking back over all these years, you can still feel that passion.
Well, it's been a pleasure as always, especially watching the great Isaiah Thomas and working with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us here at the Palace of Auburn Hills.